And we're back. Hello, my friends. I'm Rachel Archelaus, founder of the Intuitive Art Academy. This is Carrie Roldan. She is the business BFF and all things amazing.
Yeah, all things amazing. I will take that.
So we had the Aligned Up level last week, which is why we weren't here live. We are offering the recordings this time because it was perfection. Like, what can we say? And we're already getting lots of wonderful results from people rolling in, and we're really excited about that. So if you would like to live your aligned up level life on your own time, you can still do all the meditations and exercises and journal prompts that we did together. And you can just go to aligneduplevel.com and check it out. All right.
Yeah, well, I just want to plug for that and say it's so worth having. It's so worth having and listening and doing and re-listening and redoing like forever and ever. Amen. That's it. Aligned up levels are amazing. We always up level as a result, and we are always like in surprise and delight of the results that happen on the other side of the aligned up level. And we're still basking. We're still in it. So it's good.
We sure are. We were just talking about that. But now we want to talk about you. So today we want to talk about, we're going to try to arm wrestle you into starting your own business, but not in a way that you're maybe thinking right now. We just want to talk about any kind of business at all, any kind of income stream that you can have outside of what you usually do. Even if you have your own business already, like creating multiple income streams is a great way to enhance your sense of freedom, fulfillment, creativity, fun, abundance. And so we'll discuss a whole bunch of business options today that we've worked with or have experience with other people, like network marketing, being an Amazon author, an Amazon drop shipper, having a service-based business and a product-based business on Etsy or your own. Like, I used to do craft shows. We're just going to talk about why this could be beneficial for you, any kind of myths that we've heard through the years and helping people start businesses. And maybe this will inspire you to start your own thing, or maybe this will just reinvigorate you if you already have.
Yeah. So if you are, Rachel can see who's here. I can't. So say hello in the comments so we know that you are here and that you are watching. And of course, if you have questions, let us know in the comments as well. So Rachel, do you want to dive in?
Yeah. Well, Corinne is saying hi. So we're saying hi back. Hello. Thanks for coming. So first of all, I just want to get it out there that a lot of people think that starting your own business is really, really hard and not worth the time. And it can be, for sure. It can be. And I want to talk about even like, I saw a comment online the other day on the Financial Diets YouTube page. They were talking about a great way to go is to start selling a course. There's probably something that you know something about that you could make a course on, even if it's just an hour long, right? And there were a lot of comments about like people keep trying to shove starting a business down my throat. And I know people who are getting sucked into the MLM thing, be your own boss, and there's a lot wrapped up in that. And I just want to say first that there are lots and lots and lots of ways to waste your time and your money starting a business. We've both done it. We've seen other people do it. The easiest way to go is to listen to your higher self. That's why we're all here. That's why we're talking. That's why I'm successful. That's why Carrie is successful. That is what we teach. So that's why we're not, prescribing one way of doing this. We just want to open up the conversation with always, always, always start with yourself. Always, always, always consult yourself. Do the yes/no technique. Do intuitive art. Find something that you are aligned to. Find something that makes you smile. Find something that you're excited about spending your time doing and talking about. Like, that is absolutely foundationally number one. Don't do something just because it will bring you money, but consider that that is an excellent side benefit, right? That is an excellent thing to come from doing something that you love. So I wanted to get that out of the way first. Yeah, there are lots of business opportunities out there. Most of them will not be for you. The one that is for you will feel the easiest. It will feel the most fun. It will feel like, can I really make money doing this? Because this is what I actually want to do. Can it really be this easy? Yes. 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 So let's just get that out of the way first.
Well, yeah, and I wanted to say that because I think a lot of us. So I'll tell you my story of starting a business, which is I always knew I wanted to be an entrepreneur. Like I always knew I wanted time freedom, I wanted money freedom. I don't think this is an uncommon thing, right? Like I always knew that, and I had these massive dreams, right? Of like, okay. So one of the first things that I did was actually a network marketing opportunity. And I remember going to this like company wide event and being like, that's going to be me on stage. And I'm going to, and I also overcomplicated it. I worked really hard at turning my business dreams into a job. And I did that several times in businesses early on. And so I like what you're saying, Rachel, about trusting yourself and listening to yourself, because it took me a very long time. I definitely was someone who wasted a lot of, not wasted, but definitely early on in my entrepreneurial career, like I understood, yes, being my own boss is for me. Yes. But then I tried to turn that feeling into something that I could wrap my mind around. And my mind was definitely too small for my vision, if that makes any sense at all. So I know for me, one of the sticking points early on was like, so I've been involved in lots of, obviously this is what I now help people with, but my husband has a side business. He has a 9-to-5 job, and then he also has a business that does really, really well, and or I think really well, right, really well for what it is. And early on, I put so much pressure on myself and on that business to be something that it wasn't ready to be yet. Like to be different, to turn, like I wanted to go from 0 to 100 in 4 seconds. And so I'm just saying that because I think that like I think we're going to talk about the process of allowing the business to come to you and to evolve and allowing it like alignment to do its thing. So if that is you out there, like, oh, yes, I have this massive dream. And I immediately go to, at least I would go to anxiety and action. And I skipped the part of listening to my higher self and went into like pushing really hard mode. I did that a lot.
Well, let's start there. I mean, that's exceptional because this is the number one thing I see with people who have gone through my programs is that, okay, so they're ready, they have their thing that they want to do, and it doesn't immediately skyrocket. And so they feel like a failure. And the biggest piece of business advice that I ever got from a mentor was fail fast. Fail fast. And you know what that means? It means you're going to fail. So just get it over with really quickly. You pick yourself back up and try again. You know, if you're doing something, I don't think people give themselves enough credit for trying and doing, like putting yourself out there, because it's a totally different skill set and mindset to allow income to come to you through you instead of through an employer. An employer has all the momentum built up. They're past the startup phase usually. Everything's rolling, the pieces are turning, the customers are coming, the money's flowing, and you get a little piece of that for showing up and doing what you need to do. But now you're not just doing the job, you are the company. You are you're gathering the momentum, the customers, the money flow, all of that. And you're putting your self-belief out there in your products or your service. And it takes a lot of growth to get to a point where that is stable and working and you are comfortable and relaxed. It takes a long time, usually, it doesn't have to, but usually. And so, the first offer I ever made in my business, it didn't go anywhere because I wasn't really sure about it. I didn't really feel that great about it. But then once I failed, I realized, oh, I'd rather it be this way. And so I called all those same people back, and most of them purchased what I had to offer because I found my alignment. And so if something doesn't work, maybe it's you were using someone else's model. Maybe it wasn't really what you wanted. Maybe it was a price that, maybe felt too high to you or too low. That happens to me. I often outgrow my prices and then no one buys and then I wonder why. And then I raise my prices and everyone buys. And it's like, it's all about you. And so fail fast. Don't expect 0 to 100. You have to grow in order to allow more. And so if you feel like, okay, I'm growing, I'm being more gentle with myself, I'm being more allowing, I'm allowing myself to turn into this person who can accept income for what she does or he does, then you're on the right track. But like, keep your expectations in check and allow yourself to fail multiple times. It's not personal, it's growth. That's what it takes to grow.
So something's coming to me and I'm like feeling it in my body, like coming up. I'm having like this visceral response. And so bear with me, everyone, while I verbally process. So everything you said, yes. And one of the things that you said to me early on in my own business journey, which really, really helped, was you said, Carrie, everyone's just all entrepreneurs. They're just making it up as they go along. And that was really, really helpful to me because I'll tell you what, I think a lot of people are like me, that they know they're smart. They know they're competent, or they want to believe that they're competent. They feel like I should be capable. And there's this other like deep fear that there's something wrong with me. I'm not enough. Why has everyone else figured this out? I see it. I work with a lot of network marketers. I see it with network marketers a lot of the time. Like, why is that person who's not as smart or as, like whatever as me, why are they succeeding? And why is this so hard for me? How come I can't figure it out? And I know for me, I had always been a superstar student. I was really good at school. And so business is not school. There's no there are lots of people who are going to sell you the formula for success. There is no one size fits all formula for success. That even includes network marketing or multi-level marketing or direct sales or whatever they're going to call it, where they say, we've got the success system right here. Just follow the steps and you'll do it. Like, alignment and listening to yourself is such a bigger piece than anybody selling anything is ever going to tell you. And for me, once I understood, like, no, for real, there's no wrong way. We're all just making it up as we go along. I mean, such relief. But yeah, doing it right. Fear of doing it wrong. I mean, that's massive. And you guys, it makes logical sense that you get an idea. You're right. You're like, yes, I want to do this. Yes, this feels amazing. The next logical thing is to say, okay, great. So how do I do it? Let me research. Let me find someone who could show me. But so often in that process, we stop trusting ourselves because we've never done it before. And we give our power away. We assume that somebody else knows better than we do. Turns out that it's usually wrong. Go ahead, Rachel.
Well, I love that. I have some notes for today, and there is no one right way. Absolutely. So that doesn't mean there won't be models for you. That doesn't mean there won't be people to help you, but you are the one steering the ship here. We're putting you in the driver's seat, right? So whatever feels right to you, even if you have never heard of it before, you'll get a ping in here of a yes or a no. That's what to follow. So another reason to start a business is because you are a multifaceted, multidimensional being, and having creative outlets is really helpful. You know, whether you feel you're a creative person or not, problem solving, engineering, like there's a lot of things that you can offer the world that the world is already looking for that you can be compensated for. And so, you know, writing a book, writing a people put ebooks, small little ebooks up on Amazon for 99 cents or $1.99. Um, doesn't have to be a huge nonfiction compendium, you know. There's a TaskRabbit if you just want to help somebody around the house, you know, for 1 day a week, or, you know, do some weeding for someone. There are so many ways to get some extra income, but also feel fulfilled and creatively expressed. And even if you know, my partner and his business partner, they made a whole video game once. It took them 2 years of like working every single spare hour that they possibly had, and they released it. And they didn't do it for the money. They did it because this is something they wanted to create together. They wanted to problem solve. They wanted to be in that world of like feeling their brain grow and reach its limit every day and then start over the next day. And there's something so enriching about that. And even if it's challenging, you can look back on that later and say, oh my God, I did that. Like we have this, you know, we have the poster for it hanging up. And it was really fun at the time when it released, you know, people from Japan were reviewing it and making little, you know, clips of them playing the game, and people were doing YouTube reviews. It was really, really exciting. So even if you're doing something for fun, that's great. And if it has a potential to make money, awesome, right? So business can be, I look at business as a way to grow. Like this is my way of growing. This is my way of evolving. And I also get to support myself and travel and invest it where I want to. And like it's given me so much autonomy and freedom. And, you know, I can choose my own schedule. I can not work. I can work when I want. And you might not get to the point where you want a full-time business like that supports you, because it does take some, you know what it takes? It takes perseverance, right? If you're the only one in charge, then it takes choosing to stay in charge, right? It just takes choosing to stay in charge. And I've thought about not being in charge a couple of times, but it's just at this point it's so easy that it doesn't really take much to keep it going. So I keep it going.
Well, it's like, hey, congratulations, you don't have a boss. Also, heads up, you don't have a boss, right? There's nobody to tell you what to do. So good news and maybe not so good news, depending on your personality. You know what I was thinking? Another great reason to start a business and why, you know, maybe a lot of you are here is to increase your abundance, right? Like I started saying I wanted to have the $1 million business. Like I wanted to find my $1 million idea. And I really wanted to go from zero to hundreds of millions, like in a week. And I was always looking for the like, not necessarily shortcut, but definitely the fastest path, right? Like how do I do this? How do I avoid the mistakes that other people make along the way? And of course, what I learned, let's go back to abundance. So I didn't feel abundant in that. I felt desperate in that, right? I felt like, I felt the complete opposite of abundance. I felt lack. I was very aware of my financial situation and what I wanted it to be, and the gaping chasm in between. And one of the best reasons to start a business is actually for the little tiny cash infusions, right? For the and this I learned much later. Like I was so busy trying to make $1 million that I didn't really realize how good it felt to consistently make a few hundred or a few thousand, right? Even now, I wrote a book several years ago, and it's so funny because you talk about like failing I think at the time I thought that book launch, like that whole thing was a failure. But actually it still pays me, right? It pays me small amounts. But every time I get that money, I feel so abundant. I'm like, I didn't do anything for this, and here it is. And actually, that network marketing business that I was with like 20 years ago still pays me. And again, it's not the bajillions of dollars, but it is regular, reliable, surprise and delight income that it makes me feel so abundant. And so I have a friend whose husband, he paints little like miniature figurines, like I don't know, for maybe people, I'm imagining, I can be so wrong in this. I'm imagining like the people who have like model battles like in their basement or something. Like he's painting those figurines. I actually think maybe they're like video game figurines. I don't know what they are, but they're little guys, and he paints them. Now he loves doing it. And apparently people pay decent money for it because he's really good at it. It takes a long time, right? But it is totally a labor of love, and he makes income doing it. Is he making zillions of dollars doing it? No, but it is abundant. It feels abundant coming in because he's joyful in the doing of it. He'd probably be doing it anyways, right? And he found a way to turn that into a small cash infusion. And what I just want to say is I now know that small cash infusions lead to much bigger ones as you notice and allow and appreciate them. And so that is a great, if you just want to increase your feeling of abundance, do something, right? Start something.
Yeah. So, like, some of the easier ways to get into that, I see a lot of people selling things on Facebook Marketplace these days. You can sell bouquets of flowers that you grow in your yard. You can sell eggs from chickens that you have. You can sell some decluttered stuff that you have lying around. You can make crafts and paint things. I used to have a candle business. It was mostly seasonal. I did do it full time for a very short while, but it was so much fun. It was so much fun. And I felt like that was, people say they have baby businesses or starter businesses. I definitely did. And that gave me the feeling of being my own boss and being in charge of the money, the dollars. I had to know my cost of goods. I had to know my profit margins, and I had to order supplies and be organized. And when I went out of town, I had someone else make the candles for me, and it felt so cool. Now, again, like Carrie's saying, I didn't get rich off of that. I didn't get to quit my job off of that. I had no job for a little while I was doing it, but it wouldn't have been totally self sustaining. And that's okay. Like, you don't have to have a full blown business. And even if you have a full blown business, it doesn't have to have any other full time people if you don't want to. There's no one right way, right? There's no one right way. You can have anything that you want. And I feel like the people who are able to get over the threshold and to kind of find a little bit of stability, a little bit of happiness, and like, yes, I can do this. Once you're in that place, you have so much more belief in yourself to do anything. It's so worth it just for that too, of like believing in yourself more, knowing what you're capable of, knowing that you have no limitations. Because unless we do that for ourselves, it's kind of hard to develop. It's almost like confidence. Confidence we learn in the moment, we learn in doing. We can align with confidence. We can get ourselves psyched up to have confidence, but we don't really embody it usually until we're doing something we thought we couldn't do, or we're doing something we were doubting ourselves about. And then we realize, oh, I can do it. I can do this. And so if there's a mental block that's saying, this isn't for you, you can't do this isn't going to work, but you feel like you want to, then I would advise you to just try something small. Try something that seems very easy for you, low pressure. Make one thing, sell one thing. Sell one session if you're, doing some service, and see how you feel. Because big myth. You don't have to have everything set up before you start. You don't have to have your tax numbers. You don't have to have your accountants and your lawyers and your LLCs and your registered trademarks and your whatever it is that you think you need. You don't have to have a website. You don't have to have anything, nothing at all. Just you. Just you. Just start, see if you like it, and then go from there.
I'm so glad you said that, because that was on the tip of my tongue, is I actually think that that's a huge pitfall that people fall into, is like, okay, I have this great idea. I have this thing that I want to do. So I better protect it. I better get set up right. I better, like, there's this thing that instead of just doing it and then figuring out how to protect it and get set up like as you go, there's this thing that we do, which is, it's so good, but I have to wait. I have to wait. I have to get everything right. I have to get everything perfect. I have to prepare. I have to, and yeah, it's oftentimes the kiss of death, right? Like, you don't know you have a business until, and I actually would recommend not even calling it a business, at least for people like me, because I had this massive like idea that a business was something big and foreign and that I didn't understand and I didn't have experience with, and I didn't like, it was this external, it was this thing that was separate from me, and I didn't know. I didn't know how to do that. And so I highly recommend just getting started and taking some money and just doing your due diligence, right? Wherever you live, put the right amount of money aside for taxes, take care of whatever you need to do after or as you are taking money. But yeah, yes, yes, yes. In fact, one of my more successful offers, I still haven't launched. Like, if I had waited to take people's money until I had actually finished the website or got like, I'd still be waiting to take people's money. So yeah, I like, yes, yes, yes. The Nike thing, just do it. Just do it.
Yes. Yeah. I I love that there are so many things you can do to feel organized in your business. Like, you can have a customer avatar and you can have your revenue model laid out and you can have all, I mean, I'm a big fan of that. I think as you get going, it's nice to have things, in a way that you can understand them. Like, here's what I'm doing, here's who I'm serving, here's how I make money. All that's great. I'm not poo-pooing any of that. But to start there, I think is in the wrong place, because you're often going to get really discouraged and you don't know yet. You don't know who your customer is yet. You don't know what you're going to end up even really liking to do. I see a lot of people create really fancy businesses with websites and the trademarks and everything, and then they start doing it and they don't like it or they can't sell it. So, yeah, make it easy on yourself. Make it easy. The first 10 years of me doing what I started doing, like spiritual coaching, psychic reading stuff. Nobody knew what I did. I didn't know what I did. People would ask me, "What do you do, Rachel?" after they've hired me for the day. Like, it doesn't matter. It's really, 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 really vibrational. Really is. I really don't know where my clients come from, and they don't either when I ask them, "Oh, I don't know. You just popped up in my world. I just saw an email from you. I'd never heard of you before. I just saw you came up in my YouTube recommended page." And 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 that's because I focus on me, how I feel. Do I feel inspired? Yes. Do I feel excited? Yes. Do I want to talk about what I'm talking about? Yes. I check my own boxes off. Yes, yes, yes. Feel good, 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 good. And then everything else works itself out. We talked about this on our last live stream, right? How does this work? You get into alignment, which means you feel good. You follow your intuition. All the good stuff that you need will come to you, and the strategy and the outcome take care of itself. How you feel will match that. If you're stressed out, if you're worried, that's what you're going to get more of. right? But if you are just inspired, you're excited, you're feeling creatively fulfilled, like Corinne, that's you're gonna get more of that. You're gonna get more of that, and that'll translate physically. So obviously we need to eat, we need money, we need shelter, we need clothes, we need all these wonderful gadgets that we have. And so you feeling good means you're taken care of physically. My higher self, when I would always ask about, okay, how do I get to that vision that Carrie's talking about? How do I get there? I know that's in me. I feel that. I feel that wealthy. I really, really do. So how do I get there? Relax, relax, relax. All I heard for years and years and years. I hear something different now because I found relaxation. I found ease. I found flow. I found abundance. And so now I hear different, I hear giggles and I hear squeals and I hear excitement and I hear my best feeling. And so that's what I focus on now. So I just remember when I started my business feeling so confused and so overwhelmed and so worried and so everything. But I had I built my business on what I wanted to talk about. And so when I felt the inspiration, I would make a video. I never scripted them out. I just recorded whatever I wanted to record, put it up online, and I found some momentum and people found me. And that's really all you need. You need one little easy, fun thing that you do, and then everything else will get figured out as you go along. And if you feel like you're trying to force something, it's just not the right time.
Well, and I want to talk about that because when you were saying you were checking in and you were getting, there was a phase in my business, and Rachel and I were just talking about this recently, where every time I would check in, I would get I still hear relax, remember to relax, relax, Carrie, remember to relax. So one, know that it's totally okay, right? We all forget. We all, at least me, I like to push. I'm going to yawn now. And there was at least a year in my business where I knew where I was going, kind of, right? I knew the feeling of it. I knew like what I was moving away from, and I knew what I was moving toward. And I felt excitement in me. I felt like, okay, I got a good feeling going on here. I feel confident. I feel aligned with abundance. Like I felt really good. And I would kind of check in every day and follow my intuition. And my intuition, legit for a year, was like, don't do anything. Just wait. Just relax. Just chill. Like, don't do anything. And I had the hardest time with that. I really did, right? And I guess I was doing some things, but it was basically letting me know, don't push. Don't push. Don't push. Whatever that you have created, it's in the works, Carrie, and it is happening. And it was about learning to allow. So it was like, relax, do what feels good. Stop trying to push it. Stop trying to come up with your next best idea, or like all of the things that I was trying to do in my business. And just relax. It's all worked out. And sure enough, I mean, it took but sure enough, over the course of that year, and then a lot in the next year or two that has followed, everything that I wanted has come without me having to do anything. And so the beauty of that, right, is now I really can trust. Like now I am like, okay, actually, maybe I should just get out of my own way. But I wanted to say that because when the guidance is wait, that can be tricky. Yeah, that's all I want to say about that.
Yeah. I think our biggest hurdle, obviously, in doing this is ourselves. It's our only hurdle. And you are going to be guided in ways that feel counterintuitive. You're going to be guided in ways that make you feel like you're not doing everything you need to do, and like you're not doing enough, and you're doing things wrong, and no one's going to buy from you, and this is awful, and I'm doing it wrong. It's going to be a challenge. And that's the point. The point is you're overcoming your own limitations. You are finding out the long way, well, actually, the short way, because a lot of people don't get here, which is fine. But you're finding out that you are enough. And you're finding out that you are naturally supported. And you're finding out that the whole universe is conspiring with you. And to me, that's why this is the easiest path for me, because I know that. And over the years, I've come to see that and accept that. And the more I embody that, the easier my life is, the more money I make, the easier my clients. Sometimes I feel, I told this to Carrie the other week, but now I'm telling all of you. I was feeling like, oh my God, my clients are all doing really well. Like, why do they need me? And some might be ready to graduate. It's up to them. And that's fine, because there's always more. Like, your life can be really wonderful and abundant and easy and exciting and all the things that you want it to be. And you get there by allowing yourself to get there. So why we're talking about, okay, it can be the hardest thing that you've ever done, it could also be easy, is because it doesn't have to be anything. It's only what you make it. So if you allow yourself to go with your path of least resistance from the get-go, and you're just with it and you're flowing with your higher self's guidance and everything's coming to you, this can be the easiest path ever. Sometimes, though, we are bumping up against our own stuff as we grow, and that's okay too. It's not better to do it with more ease. It's just different. So even when your head's against the wall because you're like, oh my gosh, I don't know if I can do this, that's okay too. That's perfectly fine.
So two things. One, I want to address the comments because Claudia's saying, I've been hearing wait, go slow, let it emerge for a while. It's happening, and it's fascinating things move forward without pushing them. Right? Because it's counter to what we've taught. We've been taught, make it happen, go out there. Like, and sometimes there's a time for that in your business, right? Well, you will get a shove out the door. Rachel and I have had that. Rachel has had that several times recently, where like our personalities are like, no, we don't want to do that. We just want to sit, right? Which is why it's a good idea to consult your higher self and your intuition, because sometimes your intuition is like, yeah, go get a bit uncomfortable. Like, yeah, go do that, right? So that was one. So yes, Claudia, right? Yes, for listening and trusting and knowing and allowing. And the more you allow and you get evidence that allowing makes things like easier and better, and you still get everything, the more you trust your ability to allow, which is an amazing, beautiful thing. And I wanted to address advice. So I have a client right now, and she's amazing. She is incredible. And I can see her future. And I actually know that her future has her not doing what she's doing now. But what she's doing now is very important. It's on her path. It's part of what she's supposed to be doing, right? It's where she is aligned in the now. And so one, I just want to address that for anybody who's like, is this my thing? Is this my thing? Is this the end all be all? I was there too. Like, and I think I put so much pressure on each thing to be the thing when it's just the right now thing. It's just the next step on my journey. I'm aligned with it until I'm not, right? Like, so that's okay. But two, she's so wanting to be successful. And so we'll have these calls and she'll leave all aligned and she knows what she's going to do. And she's like, all good. And then she'll immediately message me back, like within a day. I mean, this happens on the regular. Within a day or two, I was talking to so-and-so and they said I should go to TikTok, or they said, right. Luckily, it's my job to always bring her back to herself. And every time I do that, she's like, oh, thank God. Thanks for the reminder, right? And she goes along her merry path and is growing and evolving beautifully. But the reason I'm saying that is, oh boy, advice, it's everywhere. It is everywhere. And just like they tell moms, right? Like, but I think with business, we take advice. Well, just like I was saying earlier, sometimes we give our power away to people who we think know better. Just because they had success on TikTok doesn't mean you will. Just because they had success as an Amazon drop shipper doesn't mean that you're aligned with that. So I just wanted to bring that up. Advice can be a beautiful or dangerous thing. And question for the audience, how do you know when to take the advice and when to leave it?
Yeah. So I will want to highlight Corinne too. She's been working on allowing this week. It's not my first instinct, but it feels good. Yeah. Awesome. Great job. Good to have you at the aligned up level too. Yeah, it does. That's what it takes, perseverance, right? It takes commitment to yourself to I'm going to do what feels good to me because I know that's what's right for me. Right? I just kind of give you a little clue, but I see this too, it's akin to I have to get it right of what is the thing that I will be doing forever? What is my purpose work? Whoa, that's harsh. That's like, talk about pressure. I need to find the thing that will keep me fulfilled for the rest of my life and serves humanity and makes me money. Oh my God, that's a lot. No, you don't have to do that. I'm so sorry, but you don't have to do that. Yeah, you guys, you don't. It doesn't exist. You are an ever-changing, evolving being. Could you imagine 10 years ago, what was the world even like? It was so different from now. It doesn't mean you're not capable of doing the same thing, but do you want to? If you had your choice, wouldn't you want to do something else? I had, all right, I had this spiritual mentor back in my early 20s, really my whole 20s, and we were watching these other like spiritual gurus come up at the time, like Byron Katie with the work, and a bunch of other people who they had one message, and they would just travel around the country and do these seminars and talk about the same thing every single time. Eckhart Tolle was really big coming up then, and I thought I would kill myself. Like, seriously, at the time, I can't do that. If that's what I have to do, I can't do it. I can't. And yet, I have had a through line throughout every single little thing that I've done, even on my books. Follow your higher self. Follow your higher self, right? So, yeah, I have a message, but that's not all I say. And that's maybe not all they say too, but you can do it any way you want. You can pivot, you can change, you can offer different things, different configurations, different industries. You are in charge. When you understand that it's all about you and that the whole universe is conspiring to help you, and if you stay true to you, you're going to be taken care of, then you have complete freedom to do anything you want. I just put out a really long, embarrassing, revealing video about
It's not embarrassing.
my journey to finding time and money freedom on my other channel. I'm actually going to email it to you guys soon, maybe over the weekend or something. But you can go find it on my Hello Love YouTube channel too. It's about my journey and how many times I pivoted, because yeah, as I grow, I'm going to change, and I'm going to change what I want to talk about. But as long as you're true to you, most of the people will even come with you. It's not starting from scratch every time you change something in your business.
So there's a saying in the industry that I'm in, which is people don't buy what you sell or what you do. They buy who you are. And that can be a little terrifying, right? But it's also super freeing to know, like, my people are going to resonate with me or with what I have to offer no matter what. So I have this friend. She's so rad. I love her so much. She's the totally oblivious entrepreneur. She's totally oblivious to the fact that she's successful. She's totally oblivious to the fact that she's like vibrationally creating, right? She's just bopping along in her life as a fairly happy, positive being who likes to try to do stuff. So I think I've talked about her on this channel before. But she, for a while, she loved to sew and she had little kids and she was making these amazing diaper bags and backpacks. And they were custom and they were cute. And she kind of has like this edgy fashion style. And so she's like, I'm going to start an Etsy shop. And she did. And then it was like instantly kind of a big deal. And it like, people loved it. And then she was like, I kind of don't like making these bags all the time. Like it was fun. Now it's not. So I'm going to stop doing it. And she wasn't attached and she didn't feel like a failure, right? She was like, I did that. I made money. Now I'm stopping. But that led, I think she had a blog. I don't remember what order things happened, but she's done that. So she had an Etsy shop. She had a blog she was like super successful on this blog. I don't think she even knew that like people work really hard on blogs and no one goes, right? And she was having, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of visits a day or whatever was successful. And she had no idea that that was good. And I only know because at the time I was like looking at blogging as a strategy and trying to like do it like right and well. And here she was like just bopping along in her life and like effortlessly succeeding. And I was jealous. So I remember that. And then she like, after a while, that blog led to her being, she was a crafty kind of blogger. That blog led to her, like someone offering her her dream job. A company in the craft industry was like, can we send you crafts to make and you blog about them and we'll send you all the supplies and the camera equipment and the lighting and we'll pay you? And so she was like, okay. And she did that for like a really long time. She did it until it wasn't fun anymore. And then she was in the craft world and she was like, you know what they don't have on Amazon that I wish they had? Little packets of these particular beads. So I'm going to look into being an Amazon drop shipper and like, I'm just going to try. And she did. And she did that until actually someone like ripped her off or did her, not ripped her off, but ripped off her idea and like did it better. Like, and she was like, yeah, I don't want it to be like my job, right? Like, I don't want it to be my thing. Like I did it. It was fun. I made money. But point being, she's continuing to just listen to her guidance, do what feels good. Like if she, and she's paid boatloads of money doing that and had a ton of joy and been totally aligned. And I have she and I have not met a lot over quarantine. So I'm super excited because we're starting our weekly like meetups again next week. I can't wait to find out what's next for her, right? I can't wait to know. But point being, all along, her people have found her. Her customers have found her. And it's purely yawn for her being aligned with the joy of what she's doing, for her being relaxed and allowing in what's coming. And she, like unbeknownst to her, you guys, she's even been like featured and like been on people's podcasts and blogs and like she's a big deal in her industry. She has no clue. She has no clue. So I don't remember why I started telling that story, but it's a good story.
Yeah, I mean, same. There's this, Malcolm Gladwell a long time ago had, this theory of the 10,000 hours. And sure, if you're really passionate about something and you put in 10,000 hours, you're going to be great at it. But you don't have to put in 10,000 hours to be successful at anything. I've got a similar story with my publishing company. It started out just as me publishing a friend's blog book for my candle company because I wanted to release them together. And then it turned into like, oh, I didn't know this was the first whole book of this poetry form, and then getting recognition for that, and then getting into the New Yorker, and then getting, reviewed by Library Journal, being a small, like things that don't happen to me because I was just no resistance following my intuition. And even like my one of my biggest dreams in my life was to be recognized for my creative, like my deep creative self and my work, like my book Above the Surface, which is a fairy tale for adults, which I illustrated with intuitive art, and I have one of my dear friend Scott Keeney's poetry in, like this, but this is my masterpiece. Like this means so much to me. I wrote it in 20 minutes right after I left my husband. I did the drawings on the floor because I was staying with someone else. I didn't even have a bed frame, let alone a desk. I scanned them on the floor with my old printer. I put it all together. And then 10 years later, I published the book. And I wasn't even going to make a big deal about it. But my editor read it and was like, oh no, she was crying. She was like, you have to do this the right way, or, like the big way. So I did. And then I got this beautiful review from Small Press Book Watch, and it was just talking about how beautiful the book is, and I want to reread it again and again, and it's like everything I've ever wanted happened, and it happened because I didn't try to micromanage it. I just went with what I was feeling. I made something really personal and beautiful to me that I didn't know anyone else was ever going to read, and that's what it takes. It just takes you being true to you. Don't worry about any of the other stuff because it's going to happen. Now, did I get rich from my publishing company? No, but I got exactly what I wanted. And I do make money from my books, which is really cool. And it is very fulfilling, like Carrie is saying. But all my eggs aren't in that basket anyway, so I don't need to. Like, it's a part of the whole ecosystem of my life, and it's perfect where it is.
Well, it's reminding me of Elizabeth Gilbert's Big Magic. And it's making me think, so two things. One, when you were writing that book, I'm betting you did have kind of dreams of recognition. Okay, let me use my own example. I know that some of the things that I'm going to do or that I've already done are going to turn into big freaking deals. They are going to get global recognition. They are like, right? Like I have a knowing. And I have learned not to make each thing that I'm doing have to be that thing. Like in the beginning, that first book that I wrote, I really there was so much pressure that I put on myself to make that the New York Times bestseller that gets me, international recognition. And here's the truth. It might still do that, right? Like Rachel's book 10 years later, right? It might still do that. But it's the pressure of like, if you were sitting on that floor, writing and illustrating, going, okay, this is my meal ticket forever, right? Like what you had created wouldn't be the same. And that's why Elizabeth Gilbert talks about like, don't quit your day job. Because she's like, you don't want to put that pressure on your creativity. You can have the knowing without the pressure. Like they can coexist. You can know, fail fast, right? You can know I am destined for success. My work is destined for recognition. I'm destined to be a gajillionaire. Rachel and I talk a lot about how like we both have known big riches are in store for us, right? We actually don't need to worry, even though I spend a lot of time worrying about money. Like that's a whole nother story. We really should have that day where we talk about Carrie and her moneyrexia, but that's a story for another day. I did spend a long time worrying about money, and I forgot where I was going. Rachel, can you bring me back?
I don't know. Then I started thinking about you and your money story.
I know. I threw myself.
Taking the pressure off.
Yes.
The pressure off.
Yes. Like, oh my goodness, you guys. Once you can really know, I am destined for whatever that best feeling is. Once you know like that, I couldn't feel that if it wasn't true for me, then you can relax and enjoy the ride. Then you can create or offer or do or whatever. And you can know this is on my path, even if it's a fail fast situation, right? You can know it's cool. It's working out. And whether it makes you $20 or $20,000 or $20 million, right? That it's doing it is worthwhile.
Yeah, and the feeling is the most important part in all of this. Like, it's not uncommon for me to make, you know, 5 figures regularly. And yet the first month of my monetized YouTube channel brought me $131, and that feels more exciting than the 10,000 that just went into my account today. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, once you get to a point where you know you're let's all take a breath together. I know I'm taken care of. The universe has my back. It's okay to enjoy life. It's okay to do what feels good to me. Then everything can be in celebration. But the new thing is going to be more sparkly, and that's okay. The new thing, oh my God, I've been doing YouTube. I have a secret hidden channel from a really long time ago that I started in 2009. So I've been doing YouTube for 12 years. And this is the first check I've ever gotten from them because I didn't monetize my channel back then. But hey, $130 for something I've been doing for 12 years, that's exciting. I'm into that. That's cool with me. So it feels bigger. It feels bigger. And that's okay because it's about the feeling. I am overjoyed with the amount of abundance that I have, and it doesn't discount anything else. It's just, how can you feel better? How can you feel more supportive of yourself, more relaxed? Like, any way that that can be accomplished is a benefit to you.
I got nothing else for that, except for that I'm equally excited about your $131. And because I was like always wondering, why is Rachel's YouTube not monetized, right? And for anybody who follows people who start YouTube channels and try and monetize them, like I actually know $131 for your first check is massive, right? So like anyone with a little bit of perspective is like, dang, like go Rachel. So yeah. But that's how you know. Does it feel good? Awesome. Do that. Keep doing it. And there's one more thing that I want to say, and that is about the naysayers and really tending to your own vibration, right? Your work in all of this, in starting a business, in following your creativity, in allowing more abundance in, like, your work is here. Your work is tending to your own vibration. And I say that because I got a lot of naysayers. I had a lot of naysayers in my life. I have less and less and less and less and less. The more ease I allow in, the more successful I become. And I still have people questioning, why are you doing that? Like, and I recently had another incident of that. And I just took a breath and I tuned in. And I was like, nope, I'm totally doing right. Because they got logical arguments. They have logical arguments. They mean well. They're trying to protect me. And I tuned in and I just knew. And it turned into one of the best decisions I've ever made. One of the best financial decisions I've ever made. So just know that whether it's the advice givers or the naysayers, like, you are the authority. And they will disappear. Become quieter. They will, the more you listen to you.
There it goes. Boom. Love it. Perfect. I love that your brain is buzzing, Corinne. I've been there so many times. Napping in water is good. And Claudia, yeah, the power of being in flow. Yeah. Excellent. All right. I mean, we did it. So let us know. Are you starting your own business? Do you have one of your own? Let us know in the comments below, or, reply to my emails. I'd love that. we are here for you guys. We are your biggest champions besides you. We know you can do anything that you want to do. And so if you're ever like in that place of a naysayer, just have our heads pop up in your brain like, nope, Rachel and Carrie say I've got this. So I do.
Yes, that is my tagline in my business. I think I came up with it. I don't know. But I always tell that to people, right? You've got this and I've got you. In this case, you've got this and we've got you. We've got you.
Yeah. Okay. We'll see you next week. Lots and lots of love. Maybe we'll talk about Carrie's money story next week.
Okay. All right. See you later.
Bye.